Here are the top posts from relationships on the 8th of November 2019. White Tulip 10. I, 23F. Recently ended an intense but toxic relationship. 26F. And I'm now dating someone. 23F. Much more stable. But I'm worried because it doesn't feel the same.
Travelbug 898. You're mistaking instability and volatility for passion. Every relationship is going to feel different because every person is different. Are you happy in the relationship and are your needs being met? Or are you in the relationship just because you feel you need to be with someone and this is the person you found to be with?
Broken paw. A runner's high isn't as flat out intense and overwhelming as what happens when the heroin kicks in. That doesn't mean that the heroin is a good thing to stick with. And it doesn't mean that running is a bad thing to stick with. Part of the reason why things were as intense as they were with the first girl is because she was as toxic as she was. With her it was feast or famine. All the time. This new girl may or may not be the one for you. But your previous relationship is not a valid mark against which to measure it. Give it time. Allow yourself to explore it. Maybe something that isn't turned right up to 11 all the time is what you need. Edit. Typo.
Always upvote Bunny. That's exactly what I went through. I left a man who, I came to find out, was basically a criminal, incredibly emotionally manipulative and abusive, a true POS. A few months passed and I met G. G is everything my ex wasn't. Patient, kind, understanding, supportive, down to earth. I really enjoyed spending time with Hi Monsieur, but I never felt the butterflies and the nerves and the raw and tense emotion. I thought I was crazy. I didn't fall in love. I walked into it with my eyes open. Honestly, I think it can be attributed to the fact that the previous relationship was so intense and so different to the one with G. Also, I realized that most consumable media glorifies the fight and make-up model of love, with its massive ups and downs. Not what I was living in this new relationship. I see it as a different type of love. A healthier, more stable type. Companionship type of love. It doesn't mean the same thing will happen to you. But as long as this relationship is bringing in more good than bad, I'd keep dating them, seeing where this goes. At one point, you might wake up and see this is not the person for you. Or you might realize you're in love. It's not prescriptive in any way. But G and I bought a house, adopted 2 doggos and are getting married in July. I really love Hi Monsieur.
Friend is Patrick Star. Friend group, 30s, is telling me, F, 32, not to confront our trans friend, M, 38, who stole something from me.
Sleep fight. Him stealing meds has nothing to do with him being trans. You can't pussyfoot around him. And realistically, this could be a cry for help. I think you should mention to him that you're worried about him and you're concerned. Just say to him, hey, the night after you stayed over, I noticed my pills had been changed out. Do you know anything about this? Give him the space to come clean. If he doesn't, watch your meds around him and consider distancing the relationship a bit. Digdugomatic. Yeah, your friend saying confrontation will come off as transphobic actually makes me mad at the monsieur.
Anti-fascist. Absolutely, you should confront him about this. Not calling him out on stealing from you is enabling Hi Monsieur. Not calling him out on stealing from you is the opposite of transphobic. Not doing it because he's trans is the problem here. Tell him you know he took your meds and he's not welcome in your house again until he gets some treatment for his depression and addiction. You can at the same time reinforce that he's your friend and you care about him and you want to see him feel better. You could even offer some resources if he doesn't know how to find them for himself. Have them prepared before you talk to him so you can give them to him at that time. He committed a serious felony. Treating him like a responsible adult and a friend that did something wrong is the kindest and most appropriate thing. Your other friends aren't being good friends to him, they're being poor friends to both of you.
Pumpkin Tav. My 30M girlfriend, 30F, is super suspicious and jealous of my best friend's overly friendly new girlfriend, 29F. It makes hanging out super awkward, and I'm not sure how to handle this. Permanent daylight. So in your Dead Bedrooms post, you talk about how sexually unsatisfied you are in your relationship and that your eye is starting to wonder. It's possible that Ali is picking up on this, and it's contributing to her feeling inadequate, worried about all of your interactions with attractive women. The issue in this post alone is not relationship ending, but it sounds like you two have some deeper issues going on that will make a long-term relationship very challenging. If you're sexually incompatible to an extreme, that incompatibility will start to affect other aspects of your relationship. 2. Voltaire. Quite honestly, I think that how you go about this really doesn't do much to help Ali's anxiety. It probably makes it a lot worse. Instead of reassuring her or making her feel adequate, it seems like you often tell her that she's being ridiculous or that she's imagining things. She's not imagining anything. Her brain is simply interpreting common actions incorrectly because of what her brain is expecting. Expecting Jill to like you. My therapist uses the phrase "everything looks like a meal" when you're starving to explain this. Without realizing it, her brain is looking for evidence that Jill likes you and is creating connections that aren't there. The way to fix this is to not make her feel like her brain is bad or that it's broken. It's to reassure her that those connections don't are mix-matched. I used to be like her due to being cheated on, and therapy did a lot of good for me. What didn't do a lot of good for me was having my ex-partner, who I was concerned would leave me, calling me ridiculous or imagining things. One of the first things they teach you about in CBT therapy for this stuff is that you aren't imagining anything. Your brain is just putting together pieces that don't fit. She feels like she was a second choice and you kind of agreed. Now she worries that she won't be your first choice when you meet someone that you get along with better. That's the root here, and the problems won't be resolved until you address it or help her get over them in kind ways. The next time she starts up, try comforting her. I know you have a lot of anxiety about Jill, but I love you, and I want to be with you. Would have probably made her feel a lot better. And if you can't do that for her or don't want to because you don't feel like you've done anything wrong, then you're honestly just not the kind of partner she needs.
Noodly Norman. I would avoid telling her she's being ridiculous or acting crazy. Try being a bit empathetic. Let her know that you understand what her concern is with Jill, but that you love your girlfriend very much and Jill isn't a threat to her. Mostly everyone wants to know their partner understands them, regardless of whether or not you agree. Blowing off her concern as unfounded or ridiculous will just spike her suspicion meter even more.
Spagat Spookia. My 25F brother, 18 meters, brought his new girlfriend, 18F, over, and without asking, they used my bedroom while I was staying overnight at my boyfriend's place. When I got back, I saw that my room was a mess and cleaned. Now everyone is mad at me. What did I do? D. Trastevere. You did nothing wrong. Your brother is just trying to preemptively deflect the heat off of himself, since he knows full well your mother will be angry that they shared a bed. This isn't about you cleaning up at all.
SH4D Fox. Not in the wrong. I really don't get your mum's probable. Monsieur, politely point out your BF of 8 years has never been able to stay over. Period. Never mind in someone else's bed whilst making a mess. Straw babies. If they're not allowed to sleep in the same room in the house, what the heck made them think any of what they did was okay? At least if they'd both stayed in his room, they wouldn't have messed up yours.
Shoot for Pa. I, 25M, believe I'm in a toxic relationship with my 21F girlfriend who may be mentally ill.
Blisk. Start recording these outbursts, and use them in the custody hearings. She's nuts. Get out and do your best to take the kid with you. Because she's probably gonna be a psycho to the kid, too. Good luck.
Midship 92. Just so you know, in most places if she calls the cops they are not going to make you leave if you live there. But in this case it sounds like you might just need to leave.
Otten, you're solo. At that point, I grab my things and head toward the door, and she then shoves me from behind and tells me how she wishes she could punch me in the jaw and that my child deserves a better father. I left and stayed at a friend's house. She has no right to put her hands on you ever, or threaten physical violence. Record these conversations and take videos of her actions if she hits you again. With a recording you can call the cops and have her arrested and thrown in jail. Being mentally ill doesn't give someone the right to be violent. Also, use these in custody hearings where you need to go for full custody in your daughter while getting a restraining order against her. She is unfit to raise a kid. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.